Okay, good morning all. In today's lecture, we are going to see project management knowledge areas that actually we cover in last lecture. So we revise the things again. So how many knowledge areas are there? Total 10 knowledge areas are there, right? So project scope management, time management, and cost management, quality management, HR management, communication management, risk management is there, procurement management is there, stakeholder management is there, and integration management is there. So using those 10 knowledge areas, rather you must have knowledge about all those areas for project management. Again, there are certain tools and technique available. Why is it so? By using tools and technique, we can have uh, rather we can manage projects easily, right? So by using those tools we can have a great project, right? So there are so many tools and techniques available with allied with those knowledge areas. So I think we gone through those tools and techniques in yesterday's lecture, right? So the knowledge area with concern with the tools and technique. Next point is project success. So, how you can define that our project is successful, or what all criteria are there that we can see that project is succeeded or it is failed, right? So, there are some outlines over there that we can say this project is successful. So, from that, first is it should meet scope, time, and cost goal, right? So, if you are okay, if you are managed to have all those things, and then only you can say that project is successful. That means anything should not be overrun, right? So if you manage to have boundaries, you have completed your project within time and within given budget, then uh, you can say that project is successful. Then one more important thing is every project has its own customer or sponsor. So you should satisfy that customer or sponsor uh, because he's the only who's going to use that system or use that software. So you need to satisfy your customer and sponsor whatever the requirement of customer or sponsor. You should satisfy the requirement, even though you can overrun your time and budget to satisfy a customer, but with prior permission of customer and your project team, right? So this is also important. So when you call project is successful, when you satisfy your customer, right? Then uh, again, most importantly is it should meet its main objective, right? So it should give or your project's result should meet the main objective that you decide earlier, right? While requirement phase, right? So this is also important. So on those basis you can say that project is successful. So what all things that are help in project succeed, right? So there are certain lists in your book list is given. There are certain things which are important for project success. So what all those things are? So I'm going to list it out. One is user involvement. So user involvement, those actually are using your project, so that user involvement is important because they are only the things those actually are using your project. So they only give you the requirement properly, and they only give you feedback about your project properly. So user involvement is important. Then executive support is also important. Then you should have a clear business objective. Then uh, emotional maturity is required. Then scope optimizing scope is required. Then processes should be agile. Then project management expertise should be there while executing these things. Then skilled resources are also important. Proper execution is also important, and tools and infrastructure is important, right? So those are some things which are required for project succeed, right? Then again, one more study which is led by US government, and that report says that uh, again two three things which are also important is, or those are main in case of projects succeed, and those things are: first is adequate funding. So you must have some proper budget for your project. So adequate funding is required. Then staff expertise is required, and engagement of all stakeholders is required. So this is also there in the US study, right? US government study. So this is about a project succeed. Then who will call winner in case of project management? So project management is led by rather any company, any software company is having. We are actually talking about IT projects. So any company which is having which is working on a software. In that case, we'll call winner in case of project management. So the companies which are using an integrated toolbox, those are called as rather winner in case of project management. So they are given some criteria. If they are using integrated tools to manage the things, or to manage things and project, as well as to achieve a business goal, in that case they are winner. Even if you what we say, your project, you should create your project managers skills of leadership should grow, right? So you should create a project leaders. In that case also, uh, you are treated to be as winner in case of project management, right? So you should lead your project in case of uh, this thing. If you want to be a winner, then any company which develop a streamlined project delivery process, in that case they called as a winner, because if they create a proper or streamlined project delivery, in that case they have their own strategies, and they have their own clear objectives with that process, or with that delivery process. So if they create a proper process, then delivery of a project becomes easy. In that case, if they have a proper process, so a streamlined process, in that case, they are treated to be as winner. And if they are using so many metrics to check all these things which are going in project management, then also they are treated to be as a winner in project management case, right? So this is about a project success. Then hello, हाँ कौन बोलते हैं क्या? Yes, anyone wants to say something? Okay. So next is program and portfolio management. Next is program and portfolio management. So what actually program management is? If suppose, okay, if suppose we have a group of related programs, and that is treated to be as a project, then that is treated to be as a program. What we call a program is a group of I'm going to dictate a uh, definition for program as If a group of related projects managing in a coordinated way to obtain benefits and control not available from managing them individually. That means it is simply a group of similar project. Group of similar project. Right. So a program is about group of similar projects. Say suppose if we have a developing an application for what we say for an industry, or we are creating an infrastructure for an IT industry. In that case, such kind of things, right? Such kind of projects, if we club together, then we have a if suppose same kind of projects, if we group, then that is treated to be as a program. So just like project manager, there must have a program manager, right? Program manager is a higher authority, right, for all project managers, right? So it is on top of project managers, right? So the program manager holds so many project manager under him, right? So under leadership, you can say under leadership of program manager, there should be multiple project managers who are working on different projects which are of same kind of from a same industry, right? So this is something called a program management. And next is what a portfolio management. Portfolio is all about, see, you are creating a portfolio for your a company, right? So what all things you have completed as a project from your company, you are going to list those things out and you are creating your portfolio. Just like what all things you have completed from your side, like in what industry you are working, just like healthcare or infrastructure, all those projects that you are covered, right? So there is also a portfolio manager who is going to handle, or rather, a portfolio department is there. Those who are going to create the things for you, right? So anything which is related to your project is there, right? So this is about what we say developing things for company, right? So project management is all about project, where portfolio management is about that company, right? Project management is about a project, whether that project is on time or doing well or on budget, right? Or what about the stakeholders are there in project management, and in portfolio management we are working actually on strategic goals, right? Strategic goals, that means what? Whether we are working on right project, or whatever we are investing from our side is a right area or not. Whatever resources we are using are competitive or good for our company or not, is there in portfolio management, right? So this is about portfolio. Uh, any This is all about, right, development, career development of, rather, company development, which is there in portfolio management, right? And who all decided about this portfolio is, the study is given in project management knowledge of guide, right? So using those portfolio, or using this portfolio management, we can have a growth in our business, right? So any business needs to be, what we say, a core thing is you need to run a business, whereas using such kind of portfolio management, we can grow our business, right? There are actually uh, two three types, wherein in core thing we are actually accomplish, or we can run our business, right? Whatever things we require, we can accomplish in core thing, right? So we just run a business. If we properly manage a portfolio and we create a proper portfolio, then we are actually growing our business, or we are creating a venture. What venture means is just to transform a business. If you want to grow a business or if you want to transform a business, you need to create a portfolio for your company, right? So this is also important if you want to grow. So there are also certain what we say softwares available to create this portfolio, or you can say a tool available to create a portfolio for an enterprise, right? So using those portfolio you can create a using those softwares you can create a portfolio for your enterprise or for your company. So if you want to grow or if you want to create a venture of your business, then you need to have your portfolio, right? So this is all about program and portfolio management. Then next point is role of sorry. Okay, role of project manager, right? In okay, so project manager, as we already know, is project manager is closely monitoring about your project, right? He is dealing with stakeholders, he is dealing with his team, he's dealing with users, he's dealing with customers, sponsors. So all those things which are required for project is done by project manager. So he must have knowledge of all 10 project management knowledge areas, as well as his adequate knowledge about tools and technique for this uh, tools and technique for this 10 knowledge areas, right? So what skills actually is required for project manager? So this is given in, again, PMBUK, that is project management body of knowledge guide, wherein they are given as some things which are required inside this project manager, right? So what all things which are required for project manager is, first thing is he must have knowledge about project environment. Project environment knowledge means actually he should understand at what all is there in that organization. That means how environment is there about that organization. What all social environment, physical environment present in that rather company. You should understand also what we say changes which are required in that organization where you are going to have that project, right? So you should understand all project environment, because important thing is you are going to change the pattern for right. If you are having a project for something, then you are going to change the things from that business or for the enterprise. So he must have understand the environment where actually he is going to apply this project, right? So that is also important. Then this is about a project, right? He should understand all the environment, whether that is social, whether that is political, whether that is physical, whether he must have understand exchanges, he must have understand a customer sponsors mentality with his ethics, right? So this is about a project environment. What all general skills or knowledge he required while having this kind of project. So um, he should understand so many things, just like no. I'm just going to list it out. The things are what things he must have relate with. Those things are, one thing is financial management, then accounting, then procurement, then sales. Those are all department, right? So he must have understand all those things. Then marketing, then contracts, then manufacturing, then distribution, then logistics, then supply chain. That is the end-to-end management, then strategic management should be there, tactical planning, operational management, organizational structure and behavior, personal administration should be there, operation management should be there. Then safety practices, or you can say health and safety practices, benefit of employees, career path of employees, compensation required for employees. All those are areas which are required, or knowledge of those areas are required for project manager, right? So this is important, right? So those all are area which are required for project manager. Okay, am I audible? Anyone, just unmute yourself and tell me, am I audible? Abhijit, Abhijit Sawant.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Okay, good. So Uh, so all those things are required in project manager, right? So see, all those things are required. That means he's not a Rajnikant, right? Uh, that means he's doing all on his own. So important is he wants to, or he must have delegated his responsibility to his team, right? So he must have his supporting staff. He must have his team members. So he need to support, he need to delegate his duties to his supporting staff, right? Even though he can delegate whatever things required which are there to other stakeholders also, just like suppliers, just like customers. He must have delegate his responsibility, right? So this is also important thing, he must have delegate his responsibility, right? So he must be that much intelligent to delegate what to, in delegating responsibility, what must be given to others, what is in my control is important in there, that case, right? So you must have that much intelligent and qualified to do this task, right? So this is also important, you must have know how to delegate responsibility, right? Then one more thing which is required is soft skills, right? Soft skills in case of project manager, we can other way around called it as a human relation skills, right? So uh, how to tackle people which are there in team is important. So what actually there in soft skills are, you can say effective communication, how to get things done by other team members. Then you must have a proper leadership quality. Then you must motivate his teammates. Then conflict, how to resolve conflicts, that is conflict management is required. How to solve a problem, right? Which is uh, there and as a soft skill and project manager, right? So those things are there and uh, project manager. Also he must have, rather he must be a good listener, otherwise he cannot manage, or he cannot negotiate, he cannot what we say, he cannot completely resolve a conflict in case of his team member, or he cannot solve a problem. So he must be a good listener. So to negotiate with a customer, to solve a problem of users, he must be a good listener, right? So this is also important. He must be a good team member also, otherwise he cannot lead his team, right? Then those skills which are also required, he must be a flexible also, he must be creative. Then patience is required to handle the situations also, right? So those are all about soft skills, right? uh, Again, he is acquainted with technology. Whatever new technology is there, he must be aware of that technology, and he must be able to use that technology efficient way. That expertise with is required in project manager, right? Whatever technology is comes in, every time he must be acquainted with that, or he can possibly be use that technology, right? So this is also important skill which is required in project manager. Even though most important is we're talking about knowledge area, so how we can apply uh, such kind of knowledge of all those areas. We must be know the thing, right? How we can apply those knowledge on inside your project with various technologies, right, to grow a business, right? So this is about soft skills and technology which are required in a project manager. Then also they have expert team which are identified some skills, some important skills, what all skills are required in project manager. So they have a skill list here, total 10 important skills they listed in a study. So I'm just going to list those out. First is people skills. Now, what people skill is just to solve a conflict and achieve a business goal. That's something what a people skill is. Then you must have a good leadership quality. Then third is listening, and fourth is integrity and ethical behavior. Then fifth is strength at building trust. Then verbal communication. And strength at building team. Then conflict resolution and management. Then critical thinking and problem solving. And understanding and balancing priorities. So this study says that those 10 skills are most important and or required in project manager, right? So he must have gone through. He must have all those skills inside him, right, to have a project manager. So those skills are required for a project manager. Now, next is project management profession. Okay, till now you get the things, no? Anyone? Just unmute yourself and tell me. If you have a problem, just tell me. Whatever we covered till now, if you have a problem, just tell me. Shit. Okay. ॲरो कीचा प्रॉब्लेम आहे माझ्याकडं, त्यामुळे ते हे व्हायला लागले, की अडकून राहतात, त्यामुळे खाली वर होते ते. ओके, लेट इट बी. Project management profession. So this profession, project management profession, is actually uh, growing rapidly, right? Uh, the history about this project management profession is they considered as two, three important things. That is a pyramid from Egypt as well as Great Wall of China are treated to be as a or those all things are constructed under this project management thing, right? So even though one more thing, that is Manhattan project of US military is also completed under this project management thing, right? So they're treated as those earlier project are using this project management things to complete their project, and for that reason they are completing in time, right? So those are like history of project management. Such projects which are covered, that is Great Wall of China, even Egypt pyramids, and Manhattan project are all under project management things, right? So they treated as uh, they completed their project in project management using this project management thing, right? So this is some kind of history that in early 1990s, no, in 19 I think 17 pyramids are there, and in 1940s, right, late 40s, they completed the Manhattan project. And one more thing that I forgot a year, but still, Great Wall of China is also under this project management terminology. So they uses this project management terminologies for those big project as they considered as a history of project management. And in 1917, 1917, in 1970, they created a first tool to schedule a work for a project management or a project management information. They create a first tool that is called Gantt chart, right? So Gantt chart is created in 1917. So those tools are there, just like Gantt chart, then network diagram, all those tools are there. If we are using those tools, then you should be treated as a good project manager because it completes this within time. Nowadays, this Gantt chart and network diagram are created using some sort of software, right? So a diagram is given for this Gantt chart and network diagram, which is there in the slides, but they're not okay. Uh, this is a Gantt chart diagram. So you can create this Gantt chart using a software also. What we are going to have a detailed study of this Gantt chart and your future sessions then. But till now, you have a task which are there. So at the left side, you have a task, and at the right side, you have a proper schedule when to start, when to complete those things, right? So Gantt chart holds information about tasks. So you can create a Gantt chart after work breakdown, right? If you complete a breakdown structure, then you can create a Gantt chart, right? So when to start that thing and when to complete that task, right? So this is there in Gantt chart, even though this is a network diagram. So using a critical path from a network diagram, you can decide where to go, right? So using some available path and you can create your project, right? So this is about a sample network diagram. So using those tools, this is about a project portfolio you can create. So those are things, those are tools which are there in project management. So in this profession, if you use those tools, then you can have a proper project management plan with you, right? So that is important. Again, I talk about a delegating authority. So in 1990s, so many companies created their project management offices to handle this responsibility. So what that project management offices means, they actually create a group of people and using those groups they handle a project management thing, right? So in project management offices, the responsibilities are coordinated in team, and they create a group. Using that group, they handle those project management things, right? So what all goals of those project management offices are, or PMOs, right? They treated to be as PMOs, project management offices. So what all things are there? The goal for those PMAs are need to collect and organize a project data. Also, they need to ensure best practices in project. Also, they need to have audit of project documentation. They need to create a feedback. Then they use a tools and some standard templates for creating a project document. Then create a consulting services. Then formal career path should be there. They must have work on project, right? Even though what project managers roles and responsibilities are need to be decided by PMO. So those are there in project management offices. Those are roles, right? So project management offices are there. Even though they created a project management institutions, right? So those all are societies for project management, and that PMI is founded in 1969, right? So this is there in project management process. Okay. So meeting is about to end. Okay. If you have any doubt related to today's content, just let me know. Unmute yourself and ask the query. Am I audible? Hmm? Unmute yourself. If you have a query, unmute yourself and ask that query. Hmm? Anyone? Fast. Meeting is about to end. Okay, Amey said no, sir. Anyone else? You're getting the things, no?